Vanessa Thomas with the 4 o'clock news on the streets, 919 FM, and online Facebook and YouTube. In the headlines, in-person classes resumes for forms 1 to 3 from February and tertiary from January. 23 more COVID deaths and 556 new infections recorded. A pregnant woman is murdered, and internationally, the FDA authorizes first pill to treat COVID-19. And now the news in detail. The Ministry of Education has advised that in-person classes for Forms 1 to 3 will resume in February 2022. The ministry made the announcement via a news release following a meeting with stakeholders on Wednesday. The statement said stakeholders were also generally in favor of Forms 4 to 6 returning to physical attendance, while tutor recommended physical attendance for Forms 5 and 6 for practical subject elements only. The Ministry of Education has implemented measures in schools to maintain as safe an environment as possible. In other news, Trinidad and Tobago has recorded 23 new COVID-19 deaths, pushing the death toll to 2,662. The latest fatalities include 7 elderly males, 7 elderly females, 6 middle-aged males, and 3 middle-aged females. The Ministry of Health noted that the comorbidities present in the deceased include diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, asthma, cancer, dementia, kidney disease, and anemia. 14 people had more than one of the aforementioned comorbidities for each. 4 of them had only one, and 5 people had no known medical conditions. The Ministry of Health also reported 456 new cases. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health says it is currently treating over 900 severely or critically ill COVID-19 patients at the nation's accident and emergency departments and hospitals within its COVID-19 parallel healthcare system. The ministry's principal medical officer, Dr. Miriam Abdul-Richards, said at yesterday's media briefing that the ministry has noticed people are arriving severely or critically ill and are largely unvaccinated. Dr. Abdul-Richards said 87% of all COVID-19 ICU patients are not fully vaccinated. Also, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Roshan Parasram has acknowledged that the Ministry of Health is understaffed when it comes to monitoring the 14,338 individuals in self-isolation. Parasram was responding to a question from a member of the media during the ministry's virtual media conference on Wednesday. He said the health ministry understands that it is an issue, adding that there are still 8 county medical officers of health to monitor the patients, with 1 in Tobago. A pregnant woman was shot and killed in central Trinidad yesterday. She was identified as 26-year-old Roseanne Roach Lucas of Trin City. According to reports, around 12:30 p.m., officers responding to a report of a shooting along Todd's Station Road, Talparo. On arrival, they met an informant who reported that he had a conversation with the victim via cell phone around 11:36 a.m. He told police they were supposed to meet at the said location to conduct a land transaction. On arrival, he observed the victim slumped behind the wheel with wounds to the face. Internationally, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration on Wednesday authorized Pfizer's antiviral pill called Paxlovid to treat COVID-19. This is the first antiviral COVID-19 pill authorized for ill people to take at home before they get sick enough to be hospitalized. High-risk individuals aged 12 and older who weigh at least 88 pounds and have a positive COVID test are eligible for this treatment and will need to have it prescribed by a doctor. The pill should be initiated as soon as possible after diagnosis of COVID-19 and within 5 days of symptom onset, according to an FDA statement. And that was the 4 o'clock news on the street, 919 FM, and online Facebook and YouTube. Recapping the headlines, in-person classes resume for Forms 1 to 3 from February and tertiary from January. 23 more COVID deaths and 456 new infections recorded. A pregnant woman is murdered, and internationally, the FDA authorizes first pill to treat COVID-19. Do enjoy your afternoon and continue to be safe. Aisha Wells, she's up next.
News from the street. News from the street. 919fm.com.
The street, 919fm.com. The official station that defends the nation.
From the moment you first crossed eyes.
It's a girl.
To their very first bowl of cereal. Open wide. Going into parenthood means nourishing your little one to reach their fullest potential. With Nestum Nature's Selections infant cereals, give 30% more whole grain with 15 vitamins and minerals, including iron, all with no